In this video, I'm gonna show you how to pack your fragile items to where I promise you they're not gonna break. Now don't cut the video. I'm gonna open this package and I'll show you that it's not broken. And there you have it. Like I said, fragile item, perfectly safe. So now I'm gonna go ahead and head inside to my shipping station and show you exactly how to package your fragile items so they're completely safe in the mail as well. Okay, so now that we're here inside of my shipping area, I'm gonna show you how to package any fragile item to where you can ensure that it won't break during shipment. And I can tell you that this method works because I've shipped over 100,000 packages in my life. In college, I worked in a shipping department, and now as an adult, I work as a full-time eBay reseller, and I ship packages every single day. In this method that I'm gonna show you, I can guarantee you that it will work because in over 100,000 packages, I can count on one hand the number of times that I've had something get broken in the mail. So to get started, what you're gonna need are only a few materials. The first thing you're gonna need are 2 boxes. You'll need one smaller box, and then you're gonna need one larger box for that small box to go inside of. And then next you're gonna need some bubble wrap, and I prefer to use the smaller bubble, not the big bubbles, because the littler bubbles are able to wrap around the product better, and they're gonna keep it from, jostling around or moving during shipping. And then third, you're gonna need some packing paper. Now I have a big roll right here because I pack hundreds of packages a week. You don't need a huge roll if you're only shipping one thing. You can use something like newspaper, that'll work fine. And then last, you're gonna need some packing tape. Now you can find all of these materials at any store like Walmart or a big box hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot, but my favorite place to find packing materials is shipping companies, places like U-Haul or even storage locker facilities. Those are great places that carry all of these materials, and normally at those places you can find them at a cheaper rate than you would find them at like Walmart or at Lowe's. So now we're gonna go ahead and pack a fragile item, and for this demonstration I'm gonna use a coffee mug. This is ceramic. If I were to drop it, it's gonna shatter. And when I ship these, the handles, they can be super fragile as well. If you don't pack them right, they break off really easy. So to get started, we're gonna go ahead and take some bubble wrap. And the thing you wanna know about using bubble wrap is that you wanna use enough to cover the outside of whatever you're wrapping multiple times, but you don't necessarily need to use an entire box load of bubble wrap. I'll show you about the right amount that you need. So for a mug, I'll use about 7 to 10 sheets. And then what I do is I lay it flat on my shipping area, and then I place the item in the middle of the bubble wrap, fold it over, and then basically just roll it until you've reached the end of your bubble wrap. And then once I have my product inside, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of tape just to go ahead and close up that bubble wrap so it's all nice and packed together. And now I've taped every end so that if it gets jostled around inside the package, it doesn't fall out or, get outside of this bubble wrap. And then when I have the product bubble wrapped, I'm gonna go ahead and set it to the side for just a minute and go ahead and grab my first box, which is my smaller sized box. Go ahead and take your box and close one side and then tape that side of the box. And now I have my box put together and my product is ready to go inside of it. But before I go ahead and place this in here with the bubble wrap, what I wanna do now is I wanna take some packing paper and I'm gonna create a nest for the product inside the bubble wrap to lay inside of. And to do this, I'm gonna take plenty of packing paper and I'm gonna fill out the bottom of the box first, and then I'll put some around the side of the box, like I said, to make a perfect bird's nest for that item to go inside of. Okay, so now like I said, I made a bird's nest. I covered the bottom and I covered the sides. So when I go ahead and take my mug and place it inside, it's going to form all the way around the sides of it. Just like that. So now I've got it nice and packed and it's tight in there. So much so if I were to take this and turn it upside down, it's not even gonna come out. And that tells me that I've got it to where it's not gonna move around or jostle inside of the package. And I found that packing paper is great for this. Of course, if you have other materials like packing peanuts, those are awesome and they're great too, but they typically cost a little bit more and they're not as easily accessible to find if you're not shipping items every day. But packing paper I found that you can find just about anywhere, and like I said, you can even recycle old newspapers to do this job as well. But now the last step is I'm gonna take packing paper and I'm gonna put it on top so every corner of that item is covered before I go ahead and close up and tape up the top part of this box. Okay, so now I've got my mug or my fragile item packed, But I'm not done yet, because this is where my second box is going to come into play. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and create this box, and the first box I packed is going to nest inside of this box, kind of like a Russian nesting doll. And when I have this box together, I'm going to repeat the first step that I did with the packing paper. I'm gonna make another paper nest inside of this box, and then my first box I packed is going to go inside of that. So what this does is it's created an outer shell and given me an extra buffer layer in case this package gets dropped, in case it gets smashed, or even kicked or thrown. And the secret here with the packing paper is just like with the first box, you wanna use plenty of it to where the box that is going in the inside doesn't, jostle, shake, or move around a bunch. So here I have my bottom or my base layer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the sides. Okay, I've got the sides wrapped, and of course, if I were to take this and hold it upside down again, my package is not gonna fall out. And all I have to do to finish this process is make a final layer on top with my packing paper. Okay, so now our box is packed, it is ready to be shipped, but one thing I want to make very clear before we go any further is when you pay for your postage, when you put your shipping label on your box, one big misconception that a lot of people do that I think is actually a mistake when they ship their fragile items is putting a fragile decal or marking their package as having fragile items in it. Now, the reason why I say that's a mistake is because, in my opinion, that puts a target on your item that there could be something in here that could potentially get broken. And the reason why I feel that's a target is because when I've done this in the past, I've had postal employees that maybe just had a bad day, or maybe were angry and wanted to take it out on something, literally take these packages and intentionally try to break them because they see that they're marked fragile. I found that shipping these incognito or without any type of fragile marking is actually better, and they're a lot less likely to get damaged or broken. Now, a few years ago, the post office did have a program where you could purchase fragile handling, and what that did was it guaranteed, or it was supposed to guarantee, that the post office would handle this with more care, but they actually did away with it in 2022, and the program no longer exists because the post office created a logistical nightmare for themselves. And what they soon realized was there was no way, with the volume of packages that they receive and ship daily, that they could guarantee that packages would be handled more lightly. So now what that boils down to is it's up to you, the customer or the consumer, to make sure that you're packing and shipping your items with the utmost care. So there you have it. That's all you need to know to make sure that your packages with your fragile items are protected and they're not going to get broken during shipment. And like I said, I can almost guarantee that this will work because I've shipped hundreds of thousands of packages in my lifetime and I've never had any break, or I've had maybe very, very few break using this method. Because as you know, there's no guarantees when you're shipping your items, but the more care and the more attention you put into packing them well, the more likely they are to make it safely to your destination. Now, if you have any questions about anything that you saw in this video, feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section, and I promise I'll try to do my best to get back to you and help you in any way that I can. And if you aren't a subscriber to my channel, consider subscribing. If you want to learn how to ship and learn more packing tips, I drop content like this all the time on my channel. And if e-commerce interests you, things like selling on eBay and actually making money with the items that you're shipping, I make all kinds of content about how to sell on eBay. So if that interests you, you can subscribe to my channel as well. And one last thing, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. So that'll help the eBay algorithm get this video out to more people that might be needing help. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.